I thank my mother in Jesus 1,000 times for raising me and my family as witnesses to the apparition of the Kreupasanam Mother. My name is Charlotte and I am a parishioner from St Mary's Church, Kochi. I came here on May 17, 2024 to take the covenant. Before that, I had visited with my sister to participate in the Rosary Rally. My biggest prayer intention was to be freed from debt. My property was mortgaged for 20 years, but by the grace of the Blessed Mother, I was able to redeem it within 3 months of taking the covenant. From that day onwards, I felt deeply called to live as a witness to the Mother's apparition. Before taking the covenant, my daughter was preparing for her CBSE board exams in 2024. 2 days before the exam, our pet dog bit my daughter's hand and wouldn't let go for 10 minutes. I cried out to Holy Mother, asking him to save my child. And though the dog bit her, my daughter didn't have a single scratch on her hand. That very day we came here, placed her hall ticket on the altar, and prayed for Kreupasanam Motor's protection. By the grace of Mother, my daughter passed her exams with 96% marks. Before the exams, we thought she might only get around 79% because on the day of her physics exam, she had a high fever and was extremely tired. She couldn't study until 2 a.m. and even thought she might have to be admitted to the hospital and miss the exam. But that night, I placed a Kreupasanam newsletter under her pillow and prayed earnestly. Around 3 a.m., she woke up completely refreshed and said, "I have to study hard. Tomorrow's my exam." The next day, her fever subsided and she wrote the exam. Despite all difficulties, she achieved excellent marks, a true miracle. Even before taking the covenant, my mother called me here through many blessings. After officially taking it in May, I placed several petitions before the Mother. The most important one was that my daughter should be under the Mother's protection during her entrance exams that year. My family also grew spiritually. We attended daily Holy Communion, prayed for our Joseph's daily bread faithfully, and strengthened our faith life. During my daughter's model exams, we went to Malayalam, but she hadn't studied well and told me she didn't have time to join the daily bread prayer. I insisted that prayer was more powerful than effort alone. Later, my daughter realized that she passed her exams not by her preparation, but by the grace of Fritter Joseph's daily bread, and she came to me and apologized. Afterwards, she participated with me in the Rosary Rally, and later she too took the covenant. The first exam that year was the JE exam. On the way to the exam, I had a high fever. While we were on the bus, an elderly woman got on. Even though I was feeling very weak, I stood up and offered her my seat. I thought to myself, Lord, will there be any fruit from all this suffering? At that time, I saw a dew like the sky. Outside it, the God of heaven will give you victory. He showed me Nehemiah 2:20. I had not read the book of Nehemiah in the Bible. I did not even know if it was a book in the Bible. I did not care much about it. My daughter said that the exam was easy. She came back very happy. When I came back, I told my daughter what happened on the bus. I told her that I saw a word in the sky and I didn't know if it was in the Bible. When we opened the Bible, it was correct. Nehemiah 2:20. The word that the God of heaven will give you victory. So I considered it as the gospel word that was given to me. I wrote it down, and whenever my daughter was writing exams, we started writing it down and praying about it. After that, she passed every exam she wrote with good marks. My daughter's biggest wish was to become a doctor. She just went and wrote all the other exams. Then the NEET exam came. My daughter will tell you all about it.
I thank you 1,000 times for raising me as a witness of Kreupasanam Mother's great apparition. I am taking the covenant in January 2025. I was preparing for the NEET exam, but I couldn't study well at all. I was under tremendous tension and couldn't concentrate or perform properly. When I finally sat for the exam, I couldn't complete it and didn't achieve the expected score. I took the covenant in a very sad state of mind. During the covenant class, Frau Joseph said, "Not by merit, but by grace." From that day onwards, I began every exam by writing that verse on my question paper. From that moment, I started to feel confident while writing. I also began praying every day. When the NEET exam was over, I was still tense because I had repeated for a year and was very anxious about whether I would do well. I really wanted to get a government MBBS seat this year itself. When I came to renew my covenant, I met Frère Joseph and sought his blessings. When I went to see him, Father placed a cross in my hand and asked me to make 2 wishes. My first wish was to get a government MBBS seat in the NEET exam. My second was for the healing of my younger sister, who had been suffering from severe migraines since her school days. Even after an MRI scan, the doctors confirmed it was only migraine. I used to give her Dolo, but it didn't help. When her pain came, she would close her eyes and bang her head against the wall. I couldn't bear to see her in such pain, so I prayed for her healing. From that moment onward, her migraines completely disappeared. Till today, she has not returned to her old condition. Perhaps Joseph had also given me a Kreupasanam mother's locket to wear when writing the NEET exam. On the day of the exam, I was very tense and began crying from the moment I woke up. I felt like I had forgotten everything I had studied. As soon as I stepped out of the house, I saw an uncle holding a keychain with the image of Kreupasanam mother. Seeing that, my mother told me not to be afraid, that Kreupasanam mother had already gone before me, and that I should write the exam with courage. The exam was on May 4. I had to report at the hall by 11 a.m. That morning at 10 a.m. I went to St. George's Church at Appally, where it was feast day. I distributed the Kreupasanam Mothia's newsletter there, and then went to the exam centre. I reached by 11 a.m., but I couldn't bring myself to go inside. I kept crying. My mother drew a cross on my forehead with covenant oil, put covenant salt in my pocket, sprinkled some on my head, and gave me a little covenant honey of Kreupasanam mother. Suddenly, I felt the urge to revise a few topics I had studied earlier. Despite my mother's insistence to go in, I checked those portions once more and then entered the exam hall. At the security check, no metal items were allowed inside. I had attached the covenant medal of Kreupasanam mother to a small plastic bead, but they said it wasn't allowed, so I had to hand it over to my mother before entering. I was worried because I had heard in other testimonies that people wrote their exams holding that medal, but by grace, mother had already sewn an ordinary locket of Kreupasanam mother onto my clothes. Holding tightly onto that, I entered the hall. As part of the check, my pockets were searched, and though there was salt inside, it didn't spill out, even when they shook it. I knew then that Kreupasanam mother was with me. I kept the salt in my hand, deciding to sprinkle it on the question paper before the exam. By God's grace, my exam centre was in a Christian school, St. Augustine's Calord, near a church. My mother could sit there and pray while I wrote the exam, just as she had wished. When I entered the hall, I saw a picture of Holy Mother. I felt her eyes looking at me, and I kept praying, reciting the rosary without stopping. The exam began. I opened the question paper, but couldn't understand the first page. I tried physics. Nothing worked. Then I tried chemistry and biology. Still, I couldn't write anything for about half an hour. I froze completely in fear. Then, I suddenly took the salt and sprinkled it on the question paper. At that very moment, I felt a voice inside me say, "Start with chemistry first." So suddenly, I started writing chemistry. The total mark was 720. A voice within me said, "Write quickly." It felt as though someone was telling me the answers. I had once heard a testimony about a person who felt someone guiding them like this in the exam hall, and I experienced the same. When I began biology, I couldn't write quickly. Those were the kind of questions I usually got wrong in the model exams. Most of the biology questions were like that, yet I wrote them all, even without fully understanding their meaning. By the end, I could only answer 7 or 8 physics questions. However, in the last 5 minutes, I felt another voice telling me, "That's enough." When I came out of the exam hall, I cried a lot. I was heartbroken because I thought I hadn't achieved the score I had prayed for. I felt that all my efforts and dreams had ended. My mother comforted me, saying, "Why are you crying? It's not about how hard the exam was. If Holy Mother decides that you are to become a doctor, it will surely happen." After the exam, I continued praying fervently using the covenant prayer. When the All India rank came out, I was ranked 36,000. I knew that only those within 25,000 could get a seat anywhere in India. My hopes were shattered. I was completely exhausted and broken. At that time, I came to Kreupasanam and prayed. There, I heard a testimony from an auntie who had cancer. Each time one cancer disappeared, another would appear. People asked her, "You took the covenant, so why is this happening to you?" I still remember her reply. She said, "It's patience that keeps me standing. When patience comes, we must stay close to God." Those words strengthened me. I continued praying with Jesus and Mother. Then the Kerala rank came, around 3,000. That too seemed hopeless. There was also the Latin reservation, but I had little hope even in that. When the first allotment date came, it coincided with the time for my covenant renewal. When I renewed my covenant, I prayed to Mother, saying, "I know I have no merit, but I have great faith in you. Mother, please grant me a government MBBS seat in the first allotment itself." The date I had prayed for passed by, but I remembered what Father had said in the Daily Bread. If your date passes, Mother will take care of it. I believed that message was meant for me, and I continued praying with faith. Then came the first allotment from Kerala. I received a government MBBS seat in the last rank under reservation. I immediately came to thank Mother. When I came to give my testimony, they told me to share it after my admission was confirmed. That night, I reached home around 8 p.m. Later, I saw that the rank list had been cancelled and would be published again later. I was heartbroken. Everyone consoled me, saying, "Don't worry, your name was already there, so it will be there again." But when the new list came, my name alone was missing. Everyone else's name was still there. I was completely crushed. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I was slipping into depression. Even then, my mother stood by me. She said, "Only Mother knows what her child truly needs. If she didn't give it, it must be because she knows what's best for you." I accepted it and applied for medical allied, and I got admission for veterinary science in Thrissur. I thought, maybe this is what Mother has chosen for me. So I decided to move forward with that. Then came Kerala's second round allotment at a time when I had completely lost hope for MBBS. I was very tense again. It was also the time to renew my mother's covenant. My mother came for renewal, and I came with her to meet Father. I told him everything. During meditation that day, Father said, "Your matters will be settled in 44 days. I noted down the date. It was September 25, the exact day Kerala's second allotment was to be released. Father prayed strongly for me that day. On September 25, I received MBBS admission in the Kerala second round allotment. Yesterday I went and completed my admission, and today I have come here to testify. Wherever I am, I will always stand with Mother. I thank Jesus and Holy Mother for raising me as a great witness.
As a charitable act, I distributed Kreupasanam newsletters in various languages in different places. Normally when someone wins, they distribute sweets to everyone, but I told my mother that if my daughter received admission, I would buy Mother's lockets and give them to everyone instead. So I bought 50 lockets of the Mother and distributed them to people. I also prepared food and shared it with everyone. Whenever my daughter went to write an exam, I would give her a small packet in her hand and tell her, "Give this packet to someone deserving before you start your exam." I give special thanks to Joseph, and I pray that Father will be blessed with a long life and good health.
Psalm 145, 18-19. The Lord is near to all who call upon him, to all who call upon him in truth. He fulfills the desire of those who fear him. He hears their cry and saves them. Covenant testimonies not only give us refreshment and assurance, but every testimony of divine manifestation reminds us that God is faithful to his promises. When a sister named Mary Shalet prayed for her family and children and entered into the Marian covenant, great changes began to take place in their lives. During her eldest daughter's NEET exam and +2 physics exam, a serious incident occurred. The day before the exam, her daughter was bitten by a dog. On the day of the exam, the mother prayed using the covenant oil from here and sent her daughter to write the exam with faith and courage. This mother testifies that her daughter was able to secure 96% marks in her +2 exams. Through this experience, their family grew from a faith that was half belief to a complete trust that everything is possible for God. Today, this testimony stands as a powerful witness of faithfulness and divine grace. Her daughter also received admission to MBBS through the NEET entrance examination, a blessing that came purely through faith and intercession. When we take every step for Jesus, Jesus walks with us. When the Holy Mother intercedes, it is not our wealth or qualifications that matter. She takes upon herself the burdens of our lives and brings about miracles in her time. Similarly, during the confirmation of their testimony, they mentioned something that had not been included in their original testimony. They said that a mango tree in their yard, which had never blossomed before, had blossomed beautifully this time, and they were able to get fruit from it, which they took as another sign of blessing. Let us thank Jesus and the Holy Mother for such wonders. Through the covenant, the Holy Mother grants us help, peace, prosperity, and divine intercession in our lives. Let us unite all our missions with Jesus and the Holy Mother, and with a heart full of gratitude let us offer this testimony to them, praying that all our children may study well and live under their loving protection.
Ordinary Experiences of God can be yours. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, subscribe now, share this video with your friends, and become a true disciple of the Lord.